So welcome, dear students, another part for the sampling. We are still working on research. And here we go to another topic, which is the criteria used for selecting sampling techniques. We said we have random sampling and or probability sampling and non-probability sampling. And we said each one of them is based, probability sampling is more accurate and give equal chance for all the units to be represented in the population or in the sampling units. And there is no errors, no bias. But the non-probability sampling, there will be bias sometimes, and there will be sampling errors. But what are the criteria when I will use this and when I will use that? When I will use probability sampling, when I will use the non-probability sampling techniques. It's based on the purpose of the survey, the measurability. How can I measure the degree of precision? How far I want to be precise or accurate? Information about the population, is it available or no? The nature of the population, the geographical area covered by the survey, if it's very large area or small area, fund availability, the money, because we said the money is very important to determine the type of the research. Time, how long it takes, then the economy means the pros and cons or the advantages and disadvantages. Errors in sample survey. The errors which happen always or surveys results are typically subject to some errors. Total errors can be classified into sampling errors and non-sampling errors. So there are errors from sampling errors and non-sampling errors. The term error here includes systematic biases, the biases which we said before, as well as random errors as well. So sampling errors and biases. What are the sampling errors and the biases? Let us see. Sampling errors and biases are included by the sample design. They include the selection bias, when the selection probability differ from those assumed in calculating the results, random sampling errors, random variation in the results due to elements in the sample being selected. Sampling bias. How can I get the sampling bias? Sampling analysis involves a type of cost, namely cost of collecting data and cost of incorrect inferences resulting from the data. They are causes of incorrect inferences resulting from the data, like systematic bias and sampling errors. The causes of the systematic bias are unsuitable sample frame, faulty measuring devices, non-respondents. Some people sometimes they don't respond, in their permanency principles, and usual biases in reporting data. Sampling errors, types of sampling errors like what? The bias, the bias errors. We said the bias that you favor something, favor one alternate. These errors are occurring due to faulty selection of sampling methods due to the prejudice. Look at this, the prejudice, which means that I put my previously opinion, and that will affect the results of the research. I prefer this. I would say that this experiment because of something I expected in my brain, and I will try to appraise and assess on this idea and make it the reason. This is the meaning of bias. Unbiased errors like what? The type of bias is occurring due to chance differences between the items in the sample. Causes of bias: faulty process selection, faulty work during the collection of information, faulty methods of analysis. Those are the non-sampling errors like what? Non-sampling errors, we said before, those are other errors which can impact the final survey estimates caused by problems in data collections, processing, or sample design. This, as example, the overcoverage, inclusion of data from outside of the population. So I get data out of the population which I don't need. Under coverage. Sampling frame does not include elements in the population. So in the sampling frame, I didn't include everything. It was missing. Third, measurement errors. When respondents misunderstand a question. So in a survey question is not understood, they make a wrong answer. This also. Processing errors, mistakes in data coding, and non-response failure to obtain complete data from selected individual. I will just stop here right now. The good data collection to make a research must be following the defined sampling process, keep the data in time order, nothing comments on other contextual events. Methods of data collection, we came to a very important part, the primary and the secondary data collection. Let me tell you, the primary data collection is that you collect the data for the first time through questionnaire, survey, and open discussion. These are the three things which you can collect data. It's regarding a new experiment, a new thing this didn't happen before. For that reason, you collect data for the first time. In the primary data, you collect data for the first time. But the secondary data, you have it already, like as example in the magazines, in the notebooks, in the books, in the periodicals, and you can get from any library or from any statistics of Canada. These are all examples for the secondary data. So the collection of primary data is methods of collecting data here are including. They are including observation, when I watch interview, questionnaire, schedule, experimentation, simulation, and use of telephone and panel method. These are the ways, and mail survey also. I send the mail, survey in the mail, and projective techniques, sociometry, focus, group discussion, this is what I want, and content analysis, another way. So these are the ways collecting primary data. Primary data, we said before, it's data that we collect for the first time. Data that we collect for the first time. The observation, let's say something about the observation is systematic viewing of a specific phenomena. You just watch it. Like as example, how many people had COVID? Are they increasing or decreasing? So you watch and see. Features of observation, physical and mental activity, selective, purposive, non-informal, grasp the significant events and occurrences, should be exact and based on standardized. Types of observation, simple and systematic, subjective and objective, causal and scientific, intersubjective and intersubjective. These are all the types, factual and inferential, and direct and indirect, participant and non-participant, structured and non-structured. What are the advantages of observation? Actual habits of a person are observed. So no any fakes, because I see the facts and I observe it. Obtain information from those who are unable to effectively communicate in a written platform. No better way to gather information than other observation. Most reliable method of data collection. But the observation is having its own disadvantage. Like it depends on the skills of the observer. Options and activities cannot be obtained by observation. So we cannot see the inners of the humans or the behaviors by the observation. We cannot. It should be expensive to tie up personnel in such tasks. The researcher findings are limited here to those observed only. The sensations, you use your sensations like the eyes, the attention, and the perception, how you interpret the results. The second way is experiment methods. And this is not our work here actually in social. So I will skip this part. We have laboratory, we have field experiments. This part is for other studies, non-social studies. Simulation, like assessment of situation, understanding the situation, decision making in situation. Types of simulation, we have computer simulation, main simulation, من computer simulation. That was this part. Shall see you in the next lecture. Thank you. In the second part, thank you so much.